welcome to Buzz Verdicts, the podcast where the truth gets put on trial and the jury might be a little buzzed. I'm your host and chief storyteller, Aaron Campbell, and joining me on the couch are my three sons and co-hosts, Justice, Yushan, and Leland. These guys are the real verdict squad, sharp, hilarious, and always ready to call me out when this smells like pure AI fiction. Here's how this podcast works. Every episode, I hit them with a wild story about a celebrity. Could be something outrageous, scandalous, heartwarming, or just plain bizarre. The catch? The story might be 100% true, or it might be completely fabricated by sneaky AI. Their job, debate, grill, throw out their best guesses, and deliver the final verdict. True or AI lie. The name says it all, Buzz Verdicts. They may or may not be under the influence of perfectly legal substances while rendering judgment. No spoilers on who's sipping what or inhaling what, but let's just say the vibes are loose, the laughs will be loud, and the truth, well, we'll see if it survives the cross-examination. So grab your headphones, pour something out, or hurdle your call and settle in. It's time for the family to take the stand, and stories to get wild, and the verdicts to drop. Justice Yushan Leland, are you all sober enough to tell fact from fiction, or will AI win this round?
Yep.
Alright then, let's see if today's story holds up in the court of Buzz Verdicts. Okay, so this is episode 7. And so far the scores are Justice 3-3 on a 1-game winning streak. Yushan 3-3 on a 1-game losing streak. And Leland 4-2. So Leland wins 2, loses 2, then wins 2.
Yeah.
So Leland's 1 up on you guys. So let's go to the guesses. We'll go from hardest to easiest guess. Okay. First guess. This troubled Yonkers native was once reportedly found by police after pursuit, hunting completely naked in the Arizona wilderness. If you know who it is, write it down, but don't say anything. Next hint. Known for his raw, animalistic stage presence, he frequently barked and growled during performances and interviews, channeling an intense, dog-like energy that became his unmistakable trademark. So Leland's guess is in after 2 hints. Okay, hint 3. He spent much of his life in and out of prison, over 30 arrests, battled severe addiction to crack and heroin, reportedly found religion in dramatic fashion with the tearful public prayers, and had a lifelong obsessive bond with pit bulls, both loving them deeply and facing multiple animal cruelty charges related to neglect or deceased dogs on his property. Something he knows it? Hold on, there's still one more guess. Okay. This celebrity, famous for sprinting completely naked down a hotel hallway on leaked security footage, a string of wild police chases, including one at 140 miles per hour, pretending to be a cop to mess with people, and declaring that his baby mama situations weren't cheating because she raped me because I don't remember her. Do we know?
I don't know. It's completely wrong.
Okay, so Leland's guess is it. Oh, hold on, let you show me down his guess.
I honestly don't know. Usually I guess.
Okay, Lily, who's the guess?
DMX.
It is DMX.
Oh, I had Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates? No.
What you said, the dog bulk and sitting in pit bulls. I mean, that's DMX. DMX.
Oh, yeah.
He's the only man on the track growling like a dog.
Okay, so this story is actually a news article about DMX. So the article headline, rapper DMX eludes pursuit in dramatic desert chase, found guarded by stray dogs, Crave Creek, Arizona. So this is a news article, so I'll read it as they wrote it. Authorities reported an unusual conclusion to a high-speed pursuit involving rapper Earl Simmons, known professionally as DMX. Early yesterday morning in the rugged outskirts north of Phoenix, Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies initiated the chase after spotting a dirt bike, Rough Riders, traveling at excessive speeds along remote backroads near Cave Creek. The rider, later identified as Simmons, evaded initial attempts to stop him by navigating dry washes, so that's like dried up creek beds, and uneven terrain familiar to local residents. According to preliminary accounts from responding officers, Simmons abandoned the motorcycle in a wide sandy wash shortly before dawn. In an attempted effort to disrupt tracking by canine units, he discarded his clothing and concealed himself in an abandoned porcelain bathtub, partially buried in sand, a remnant of illegal dumping common in there. So he was in a garbage dump. The pursuit team, supported by aerial surveillance helicopter, temporarily lost visual contact as the suspect remained hidden for several hours. When deputies returned to the location at first light to recover the vehicle and resume the search, they encountered an unexpected scene. Simmons was discovered sitting upright in a bathtub, unharmed, surrounded by an estimated 8 to 10 stray pit bulls type dogs arranged in a loose protective circle around him. The animals, described by the officers as scared, lean strays, typical of a desert roaming pack, showed no aggression towards the suspect or law enforcement. Instead, witnesses reported the dogs maintaining vigilant postures, facing outward as if it was on guard duty. One deputy, speaking on condition of anonymity, described the moment: "We rolled up expecting resistance. Instead, there was the subject, no clothes, in his old tub, and these dogs were just sitting there like his personal security detail. They didn't bark, they didn't charge at us, they just watched us. It was surreal." After a brief standoff, Simmons was taken to custody without incident. The stray dogs followed the patrol vehicles for a short distance before dispersing into the surrounding scrubland. No injuries reported to officers, the suspect, or to the animals. Sheriff officials confirmed the incident stems from an outstanding warrant related to prior traffic and other violations. Simmons was transported to a local facility for processing. Animal control was notified regarding the strays, though none of them were ever captured or deemed immediate threats. This incident adds another chapter to Simmons' well-documented history of legal encounters in Arizona, including multiple raids on his nearby property involving pit bulls and related charges dating back to the late 2000s. Those earlier incidents saw authorities seize malnourished dogs and recover remains from the ground, so yesterday's events appeared unrelated. Representatives for Simmons could not be reached for comment at press time. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office declined to release further details pertaining to the conclusion of their investigation. Authorities are reminding residents to report suspicious activities in remote areas, while noting the unpredictable nature of encounters involving wildlife, or in this case what the officer called the wildest backup crew he has ever seen. The case remains under review.
Why did it not be making more?
All those stories have to be.
You think Old Dirty Bastard had criminal charges? Just wait till I wiki search DMX.
I can't wait to get video about it. You know the song
X go give it to you?
My X is coming for you. He has like a line saying if your dog is older than 15, he's gonna wait for him.
Okay. Earl Simmons, born December 18th, 1970, died April 9th, 2021, known professionally as DMX. He was an American rapper, songwriter, and actor. His accolades included an American Music Award, a Billboard Music Award, 6 Grammy Award nominations. Regarded as an influential figure in the late 90s and early 2000s, one of the greats of hip-hop. His music characterized by his aggressive rapping style with lyrical content varying from hardcore themes to prayers. His violent lyricism helped popularize the horrorcore genre. So, Old Dirty Bastard had 7 to 13 children.
Yeah.
DMX was. He had 15 children.
Yeah, X don't give it to you.
X gave it to her and her and her and
I
her.
bet you Will Chamberlain beats him.
I don't know how many kids Will Chamberlain. He slept with like 20,000 white women.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know how many
That's
kids.
what I'm saying.
You know,
Probably had good with all of them. They just got you.
Okay, so let's go to. We always start at legal issues. Let's start somewhere else. Filmography. Okay, 98, Belly. I don't know if you guys have seen Belly.
I've seen.
It's DMX and Nas.
Yeah.
One of the best movies you'll ever see. The opening scene of that movie plays Tommy Buns Bundy. That's a good one.
I remember from that one, the Jamaican guy.
All the way. Yeah, you guys watch Belly. If you guys can, I always look for it online and just can't find it.
I remember Method Man is in there as this Jamaican guy. The Jamaican guy's funny as shit.
Romeo Must Die. He was in that. I think that's one of your mom's favorite movies.
This one was Jet Li.
Jet Li, yeah.
And Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, yeah. Exit Wounds. That was a good one. Cradle to the Grave.
That's what one was Exit.
Yeah. Never Die Alone. All his movies were like the same type of movie.
Oh, yeah, you can see him in like a family-friendly comedy.
He was in the movie Pimp as Midnight John. Beyond the Law, detective, he played. Video games, he's in Street Hoops as himself. And Def Jam Vendetta, that's like a fighting one, but with a Def Jam artist. Chris Rock Show, Moesha, Mad TV, Half and Half, Third Watch, Chappelle Show, and then he's been on every other. Fresh Off the Boat.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
He shows up as himself, but like since he's still in 90s, they're asking, why do you look so old?
Discography. It's Dark and Hell is Hot, 98. Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, 98. And then there was X, 99. He released 2 platinum records in the same year, in 98.
We need that voice.
I need the money.
So, one of the first concerts I ever went to was Jay-Z, DMX, Method Man, Redman. Great concert. So Method Man, Redman opened up. It was like the How High stuff. DMX came out for an hour, sprinted his ass off. Best thing we've seen. It was so good. He was... Oh yeah, he was like drinking, and he's like, doo-doo, and he's growling mic, everybody's losing their shit. Takes his shirt off, girls lose their shit. Then at the end, he does a prayer. This was at Rogers Arena, where the catch played. 18,000 people in tears. And then the guy goes on the mic, now welcome, Jay-Z. It's a hard knock life. So Jay-Z is back when Jay-Z had the Jigga Man, the Jigga What song. So Jay-Z sings like 2 songs. The crowd starts going, doo, and he's looking around, and then he's that little Annie in that song. Yeah. And then, boo, and then after half an hour, he just leaves the stage. Walks out, leaves the stage. So we're like, okay, concert's over. All we hear is boom, boom. DMX came out in like 5 other songs, and then Rita loses her shit. I remember that. That was like 99. Remember that show LeBron has on HBO where they all sit in the barbershop?
Yeah. This is what he calls barbershop.
It was called Barbershop? Okay, so Jay-Z's on Barbershop. And they go, what's the hardest part about rap? He goes, I was on a tour in 98 with Method Man, Redman, DMX, and me. He goes, first concert, DMX is going out, he's not even on stage. He goes, lights go out, DMX starts growling in the mic. It's like, oh, this is cool. He goes, 10 minutes in, DMX takes his shirt off, girls are going crazy. He goes, oh, this is really cool. Because Jay-Z was the last performer, person. And then he goes, and then he starts a fucking prayer. They got 18,000 people crying. And then my corny ass song comes on. Like, he goes, I have to follow this guy for like 52 tour dates. Beautiful DMX. It was amazing.
I was kind of hoping, like, after DMX finished, you just hoping that's a big pimpin'.
No, back then. So that would have been Jay-Z 98. Let's see what he had back then.
Those are looking motherfuckers.
Like, it was a great... Method Man, Redman were great because that's back when they had How High. And the security guards at the concert said, if you guys can get the weed in, you can smoke it in the arena. So we all walked away for 20 minutes while the girls just crotched the weed. So while Method Man, Redman are singing How High, the lights go on, everybody lights up joints. Pretty much hotbox the NHL arena. So Jay-Z's album at that time was Volume 2, Hard Knock Life. So that Can I Get a Hard Knock Life Ghetto Anthem, Money Cash Hose. What's that song number 4, Justice?
Nigga what? Nigga who?
Yeah, that was another one of his songs.
My mom's black.
Yeah, so that's when he came out. Like, that was his Memphis Bleak, Hard Knock Life anthem. And yeah, he got bowed right off the stage because of
That was sick as nervous.
DMX.
You know,
Whatever happened to me, I'm crying.
that happens to so many artists when, like, they'll do like a concert and like the opening act just puts on an amazing show, and then like we have to follow it. Kind of like in the '60s where like there was a show and James Brown is the opening act for the Rolling Stones, and James Brown just killed it, and the Rolling Stones had to be like, how can we follow this?
Yeah, like,
Most of this is like black women, they ain't gonna appreciate all shit.
nobody can do that for you no matter. You gotta make sure it opens like someone they don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So the next concert I went to after that was the Up in Smoke tour. This is the lineup for Up in Smoke tour: Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Eminem, Proof, Nate Dogg, Corrupt, D12, MC Red, West Side Connection, East Siders, Devin the Dude, Warren G, Exhibit, the DOC. So that was like the next year. They did 44 shows. So Jay-Z went with DMX. DMX blew him off stage, and then like Eminem and Snoop, and then like, well, we could do a tour too.
You make that in here.
Yeah, that tour, 44 shows, grossed $22 million. Yeah, it was crazy.
Just give me 5%.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, and like the tickets to that DMX concert was only like $30.
This before tickets were like super
They weren't-
expensive.
Yeah, they were super expensive.
Well, even now, tickets are so expensive. That's when we get like really up close.
Yeah, and we were like the fourth row in the bowl. Like we didn't do floor seating, but we were probably half court. Like
So,
they
like,
were,
we were still late.
oh yeah, it was such a good concert.
I'd be like all the way up in like the nosebleeds. So I was still like,
You just hit the ground.
Okay, DMX's personal life. DMX was a born-again Christian and stated that he reads the Bible every day. DMX was a transitional deacon and aspired to become ordained as a pastor when he received his call in 2009.
Imagine a service held by DMX.
In 2016, he gave a sermon at a church in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where the story takes place, in Phoenix.
Is that like the lights went off the ground?
Yeah, DMX spent a lot of time in Phoenix. Okay, so DMX was the father of 15 children from 9 different women. He married his childhood best friend, Tashira Simmons, in 1999. They had 4 children together. In July 2010, after his first of 3 incarcerations that year, Tashira announced their separation. They divorced in 2014 and remained friends. Although in 2016, Tashira accused DMX of missing his $10,000 per month child support.
damn.
So that's for 4 kids. DMX has a daughter with Patricia Trejo. In 2012, Trejo sued DMX for $1 million for unpaid child support. The case was settled in 2013. DMX and Monica Wayne, a Maryland resident, fought over a claim that he was the father of her son born in 2004. She sued him for defamation and child support. After genetic testing proved that DMX was the father, he was ordered to pay Wayne $1.5 million in child support payments. Oh, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
DMX fathered a son and daughter with Yerida Borrega. He fathered another child with his fiancee Desiree Lindstrom in August 2016. DMX's final 2 children, twin boys, were born in 2019. Their mother is Pebbles Janelle. DMX did not have a will. As a result, legal battles ensued in probate courts following his death. DMX filed for bankruptcy 3 times.
I wonder why.
His first filing was on July 30th, 2013, citing his child support obligations as his primary claim. Okay, do you guys know about the feud he had with Ja Rule?
Yeah, everybody's a few Ja Rule.
Oh, it was so good. During the 90s, DMX formed a close bond with fellow up-and-coming rappers Jay-Z and Ja Rule. The 3 collaborated many times and formed a group known as Murder Inc. It wasn't bad music, but it wasn't like...
All I know from Motor Inc. is the one song when like Ja Rule was talking about Motor Inc. and he misspelled it. It's like a diss track to 50 and he misspelled Motor Inc.
Yeah.
Or dissing 50 and you're like, no wonder like 50's been pounding on your ass like 20 years. Your own group.
The group was short-lived due to internal issues between DMX and Jay-Z. After the breakup, the group DMX disparaged Ja Rule, accused him of being a copycat and drawing comparisons between himself and what he saw as Ja Rule stealing his signature gruff style. DMX would release his second album, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, what contained a diss track saying "We Don't Give a Fuck," which was directed towards Ja Rule and produced by Irv Gotti. Ja Rule would then respond in a song We Different from a compilation of Irv Gotti Presents The Murderers. DMX would also go on to throw shots at Ja Rule in the song Do You from Funkmaster Flex, the mixtape Volume 4. In 2002, DMX released a diss track They Want War on DJ K-Slay mixtape. Ja Rule never responded directly, but he went on to diss DMX on a song, Fuck With Us, and connected from his album The Last Temptation. Back then, rap beefs were a thing. I don't think there's the same now.
No, now it's everybody shooting everybody, but back then,
Well, people got shot back then, like
Yeah.
Biggie and Tupac.
Yeah, but after that, that's when they kind of realized, hey, we need to kind of cool it.
Just make songs dissing each other and all make money.
Because you also got to think at that time, also kind of the rappers were turning like businessmen. So it's like, hey, we need to kind of be less.
Yeah, I think money got more for them, right? Because who's that rapper in jail now? He's been in jail like 7 years and he's like still going to court.
Melly?
Yeah. Like back then, you shot somebody, you were in jail, you're not 7 years later, you're still not in jail. Like, I don't get that.
Oh, he's in jail.
I know, but like after 7 years, they still haven't had, like, he's still waiting for court dates.
That's a shot his own best friend. Yeah, he shot his own best friend.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
He didn't do that. What man did? You know what? King Von did do it.
Okay. DMX legal issues. This is going to be a lot. DMX was in jail more than 30 times throughout his lifetime for various offenses, including criminal possession of a weapon, robbery, assault, carjacking, animal cruelty, reckless driving, driving under the influence, unlicensed driving, drug possession, prohibition violation, failed to pay child support, pretend to be a federal agent, and tax evasion. Pretend to be a federal agent? Oh, this story's funny. There's, what's that, Drink Champs? With Nori and, I forget that other guy who's in Drink Champs. Well, DMX is on. It's like, how do you get arrested for that? Somebody cut him off. DMX has no license. He's driving around. Somebody cuts him off. He puts flashing lights on the top of his car and tells the guy to pull over. Like, what are you doing? You don't have a license. He goes, they need to respect my authority. They're like, you don't have authority. You don't even have a license. So the cops pull up. They're like, oh, you know, when a cop pulls over a car, another cop pulls up. And it's DMX. Giving the guy shit about cutting him off. They're like, what are you doing? You're not even a federal agent. So you got arrested for being a federal agent.
Imagine that happens and you recognize DMX. Like, wait a minute.
2000, he served 15-day jail sentence.
Some MTV show.
Yeah, it's Punk before.
What was Ashton Kutcher? No? I just got yelled at by DMX.
Okay, January 2002, DMX pled guilty in New Jersey for 13 counts of animal cruelty, 2 counts of maintaining a nuisance, and 1 count of disorderly conduct and possession of drug paraphernalia. He eventually pled bargain down to fines, probation, community service. I think that's more counts than Mike Vick.
Damn.
13. Yeah.
Don't forget about Mike Vick's most heinous crime, fishing in a lake without an opponent. And he got that a year before the dog fight. So.
Okay, so this is what happens in Arizona, like from the story. In 2007, DMX home in Arizona was raided on reports of animal cruelty to 12 pit bulls on the property. Simmons maintained that any neglect was the result of a caretaker who was not taking proper supervision of the dogs. That's 2008, DMX was arrested on drug and animal cruelty charges after attempting to barricade himself in his home in Cave Creek, Arizona. That's where the story takes place in Cave Creek. DMX pled guilty in charges of drug possession, theft, and animal cruelty. In 2009, 90 days in jail. 2009, entered a plea arrangement charge of pled guilty to attempted aggravated assault in jail. 2010, after serving 4 of 6 months of violating drug probation, he's released from jail. That day, a television pilot was filmed to portray his road to recovery. However, DMX was arrested 3 weeks later, and the pilot did not involve into the series. Oh God, he was arrested in South Carolina. They do it by places he lived. Like when you look it up, South Carolina, New York, Arizona. How did he die? He claimed to be addicted to crack cocaine when he was 14, after smoking a joint laced with crack.
Well, he was from Yonkers.
Yonkers. Is that the name of the title creator song?
Yeah.
Yonkers. Yeah. Okay, April 2nd, 2021. So that's 5 years ago?
Yeah.
5-year anniversary. Rest in peace, DMX.
He's going to
DMX was rushed to White Plains Hospital where he was reported to be in critical condition following a heart attack at his home. Simmons suffered cerebral hypoxia as paramedics attempted to resuscitate him for 30 minutes. The next day, his attorney confirmed Simmons was on life support. Simmons' former manager said he was in a vegetative state and non-brain failure with no current brain activity. His manager stated DMX was comatose and he was set to undergo tests to determine his brain functionality. His family will determine what's best for him. The morning of April 9th, a week later, Simmons lost function in multiple essential organs, reportedly his liver, kidneys, and lungs, and was pronounced dead shortly after the age 50. It was revealed on July 8th by the medical examiner office that Simmons' official cause of death was heart attack. Have you guys seen that video online of him at Woodstock?
Yeah.
There's like 100,000 people. It's just him with the mic and the crowd's just losing their shit.
He's got like the red overalls on at Timberlands.
He always wears the red overalls and Timberlands.
I remember in the Cater to the Grave does that backflip on the wall and he like fake. He just has Timberlands on. It's funny.
So he had Rough Riders. That was his big thing. DMX's funeral took place in Brooklyn on April 25th, 2021. It was live streamed on the BET network and its YouTube channel. It lasted 5 hours with 2,000 people.
What is BET got to do?
Black Entertainment Network? Yeah, they really did. It was, DMX casket was in color red and featured the word faith in large printing. It was featured in the front of the room. People who were in attendance including Nas, Little Kim, Alicia Keys, and Swiss Beats. Swiss Beats was from Rough Riders. The pastor was Reverend A.R. Bernard. Louis Farrakhan was there, the leader of the Nation of Islam, joined the service via Zoom. A 5-hour funeral. That's crazy. Most people won't be in and out in like an hour. Okay, so that's DMX. Let's read the story one more time. Authorities reported an unusual conclusion to a high-speed pursuit involving rapper Earl Simmons, known professionally as DMX. Early yesterday morning in the rugged outskirts north of Phoenix, Cave Creek, Arizona. County Sheriff deputies initiated the chase after spotting a dirt bike traveling at excessive speeds along remote back roads near Cave Creek. The rider, later identified as Simmons, evaded initial attempts to stop by navigating dry washes and uneven terrain familiar to local residents. According to preliminary accounts from responding officers, Simmons abandoned the motorcycle in a wide sandy wash shortly before dawn. In an apparent effort to disrupt the tracking by K9 units, he discarded his clothing and concealed himself in an abandoned porcelain bathtub, partially buried in the sand, a remnant of illegal common dumping ground in the area. The pursuit team, supported by aerial surveillance, temporarily lost visual contact as the suspect remained hidden for several hours. When deputies returned to the location at first light to recover the vehicle and resume the search, they encountered an unexpected scene. Simmons was discovered sitting upright in the bathtub, unharmed, surrounded by an estimated 8 to 10 stray pit bulls, type dogs, arranged in a loose protective circle around him. The animals, described by officers as scared, lean strays typical of a desert roaming pack, showed no aggression towards the suspect or law enforcement. One deputy, speaking on condition of anonymity, described the moment. "We rolled up expecting resistance and said there was the subject, no clothes, in this old tub, and these dogs just sitting there like a personal security detail. They didn't bark, didn't charge, just watched us. It was surreal." After a brief standoff, Simmons was taken into custody without incident. The stray dogs followed the patrol vehicles for a short distance before dispersing into the surrounding scrubland. No injuries were reported to officers, the subject, or the animals. Sheriff officials confirmed the incident stemmed from an outstanding warrant related to a prior traffic and other violations. Simmons was transported to a local facility for processing. Animal control was notified regarding the strays, while none were captured or deemed immediate threats. Representatives for Simmons could not be reached for comment at press time. The county sheriff's office declined to release further details pending the conclusion of their investigation. Authorities are reminding residents to report suspicious activity in remote areas
when knowing the unpredictable nature encounters involving wildlife, or in this case, when one officer called the wildest backup crew he had ever seen. The case remains under review. Okay. So you guys have all guessed. You can't change it now.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So you two are 3 and 3, so let's have you start.
You said you should.
Okay, you on first. What do you think? True or false?
I think it's true.
You think it's a true story?
Yeah.
Because just from all the stuff that we heard, man,
Yeah, just
it just adds up.
Okay. So you think it's true? Justice?
I think it's true.
No, I was going to say excellent good too.
that
Dummy, you both guessed
True.
true.
Look at the way they come.
You're pointing to...
I know because he's a dumbass.
But you guys both guessed the same.
I know, I'm still just kind of.
Okay, so you think it's true. Okay, Leland?
I say false. I say bullshit.
That's not false, really true.
You gotta say true or false.
Like, false.
This bullshit is kind of like
Yeah,
false,
bullshit.
Joe.
Okay, this story is 100% false.
What the fuck? You've been searching them up before.
How can you search it up?
He doesn't tell me.
I don't even tell him who it's about.
Probably do.
Okay. So Leland won, Yusha and Justice lose. So that will take. Let's go to the scores. Justice goes to 3 and 4. Yushan goes to 3 and 4. Leland goes to 5 and 2. Leland joining away with it. Okay, so that was episode 7. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for the children.
We're not done yet. Follow and subscribe. Us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, Elon Musk or Overlord, and Facebook. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for the children.
We're out.